All right, welcome to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. I am your host. A little bit about the show. Let me go over the rules for the rule breakers. On Sports Therapy with FH Jr., we don't talk politics. We don't talk race relations. We don't talk sexual orientation. All are welcome to attend. As I said, we don't talk politics. I don't give a fat rat's butt what the Republicans are doing, nor do I care what the Democrats are doing. But let me break character for just 1 minute. Although we don't talk politics on Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., but I urge everyone, please go and exercise your right to vote. I don't care who you vote for, as long as you vote. It is a right you've earned. Please exercise your vote. Now, a little bit about the show. We are always sponsored by Crown Royal. That is my drink. And as you can see, I am always wearing the standard uniform, augmented by the cool beard, along with the NFL hat and logo that lets everybody know that I am neutral, just like the country of Switzerland. Now, I think I got all that covered. And also on Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., we give sound advice. Now, you can take it or leave it. and also, let me say this. If you want to call, the number is always 940-329-4110, where you will have 2 minutes to call in and rip, rant, kick knowledge about all things NFL. We are streamed live on Facebook and YouTube, along with Instagram, and we also can be heard later as part of our arrangement with TikTok. So I will upload some videos on TikTok, and just to kind of, keep Sports Therapy around. And we also have, let me see, can I reach way over here? We also have the comfort pillow, just in case you need a tender hug or something like that. We got the comfort pillow. Now let's talk about football. And you guys know I always start the show off by talking about scores, and then we don't talk about scores, but we're going to talk about scores. We are definitely going to talk about scores. Today was a wild week. It actually got started with Thursday night when the Who Dat Nation took on, I don't even think they want to know, but big ups to my Commanders. Now look, I don't hide it. I am a card-carrying Commander fan, will be to the day I die. Commander Redskin football team. We're going to talk about that later on today. And also got the Steelers playing tonight against the Jets, Jets. Then we had overseas some competition. We had the Jags trying to figure out if they could win, will we let them come back to the country. So we'll see how they took on the Patriots today. So you know what? Today I'm going to also look at what I consider just bad teams. There are some bad teams. I wouldn't say bad teams. There are some teams that are just playing bad football. Bad football. Cowboys didn't lose today. Cowboys did not lose today. All right. Cowboys didn't lose today. That was because they didn't play. Now, I always cheer for everybody in my division to lose because I am fan first and podcast the second. Fan first and podcast the second. That is how we roll on Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. But as I was saying, man, let's talk some scores. Things got started Thursday night when we had the Denver Broncos taking on the Who Dat Nation. I was a little bit disappointed about the Who Dat Nation. Quarterback was injured. Jay Carr was out. We had the rookie substituting in. But there are a lot of injuries with the Saints, which is no excuse because all teams have injuries. You just have to play through it. So a little bit disappointed with them. Like what I saw with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are rolling. And the bottom line, if you want to win the Super Bowl, you have got to dethrone the Chiefs because when you are large and in charge, man, they call you chief. When you're large and in charge, somebody going to call you chief. Somebody gonna 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 call you chief. Somebody
Who that?
Jay in Grand Prairie. What up, Jay?
What's up?
Jay. Now,
Man, did you see that Saints game?
yeah,
That disappointment.
yes, I did. What say ye about that, Jay?
That's ridiculous. Dennis Allen needs to go. That was a crime shame.
Jay said Dennis Allen needs to go. Um, you guys started the tone this week by playing on Thursday night. You all took on the Denver. I almost said Denver Nuggets because the NBA is going to kick off this Tuesday night. But you guys took on the Broncos. And Jay, let me tell you why I thought that the Who That Nation were going to use that as a get right game. You know, a game to get your head right. Was because the Broncos were starting a rookie quarterback, and I figured you guys were going to feast. Although you all were starting a rookie quarterback too, but I just thought that you all's rookie was better than their rookie. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There were a
I
lot of.
mean,
Go
I'm a
ahead.
sick of rap.
Say what?
Go ahead.
You were saying something about Rattler?
I'm sick of rap. I think he got it. He just needs some more playing time. But I
Oh,
think he'll be all right.
oh, you said you're gonna stick with him. I got you. Well, what I saw were two things, and one of the announcers said something that I was thinking, which was, although you guys had a lot of injuries, but are the Saints trying to get their head coach fired?
Getting himself fired.
Are you guys trying to get your head coach fired?
He doing it all on his own.
Because now, I will say this: Spencer Rattler is a rookie, and this is just his. This was his first game, I believe, starting. And now, granted, you guys have a lot of injuries, so he didn't have any of the normal starting receivers to throw to. His offensive line was in shambles, and that's a lot to throw
Right.
on a rookie, man. When you got a rookie, you got to at least put it behind some protection, call some plays that are rookie friendly, that are friendly to him as a rookie, to help him build his self esteem and confidence. I question the play calling, but it to me, I have to still lay all the blame at the feet of you all's defense because what was I saw
Horrible.
horrible tackling.
This staff can do nothing.
So I don't know, Jay. That's why I asked the question. Are you all trying to get y'all coach fired? Because you can't fire the players. I don't care how bad the players are. As the owner, you cannot get rid of all 22 players. You can't. You can't do it. You have to fill a team. You have to roll out a team. But you can fire your coach, assistant coach, position coach. You can do all those things. So that's what my question was because the Broncos, although they have a good defense, but they're not. There was nothing about the Denver Broncos that simply said they were going to just beat the Saints. I thought it was going to be a game that
Nah, we just ourselves.
yes, it was like the Saints never show. It's like y'all didn't show up. It was like you didn't show up. You didn't show up, and that's what 5 losses in a row.
Yes.
And I'm asking Jay, what happened to the team that showed up and beat the crapping out of the Cowboys?
We had Taysom Hill. We had we had most of our players.
Yeah, that's true. I will give you that. Y'all had Hill, who I call the Swiss Army knife. On defense, you had my man Jordan, who's out. Cam Jordan. Cam is out. Um, Three of your offensive linemen are injured, and you know you don't want to say this, but y'all you had Carr. You know, hey, he won't throw the
Well,
ball down the
that's
field.
good.
But
No,
you
he don't throw the ball on the field.
and so by saying that, and you got two of your wide receivers out. Olave is out, and I think the receiver is it Shehead or Shehan, whatever the heck. I always mispronounce the young man's name, but I think he's out for the season. So you put all that into what I call a NFL mixing bowl, and you're not gonna get a good cake. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Now, but I will say this, Jay. All teams have injuries. You just have to be somehow you got to manage your way through it. All team have injuries, Jay.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the good thing about it is you all play in a division where um you're not out of it per se because for a while they looked like the Buccaneers were going to run away with the division, but I don't know, man. Their schedule's starting to get a little bit tough. They got a tough one coming up, and because I believe they play the Ravens on Monday Night Football. That is going to be a game. I'm sure you'll be rooting for the Ravens. Um,
Oh yeah.
the Panthers are. I don't know what they're doing. They're a horrible team. Uh, they're a horrible team, and then and you have the Dirty Birds, which they lost today. So nobody is running away with the division. So maybe if you guys can kind of um, get some injuries, get some guys back off of injury, um, do those type of things and kind of turn it around. And I don't know who's the bigger miss that you guys are experiencing. Is it because Jay? I got to be honest. I think out of all the players I mentioned, I think you all miss Taysom Hill more than anything else.
Most, yeah.
Yeah, I think he has
Cause you can put him in a lot of places.
yes, yeah, and he can make up for some of the other guys that are out. Like for example, um, when you had a rookie quarterback, Hill used to be a quarterback, and so you could have took some of the pressure. Y'all could take some of the pressure off of Spencer Rattler by having him in there, and then again he can also slide out and be a receiver as well. So I just think the Saints. I think the Saints are missing a lot of good players, but I just think having him makes a real big difference.
Yeah, it does, and it shows.
Man, does it? Man, does it? But Jay, keep your head up. Keep your head up. And I think it's gonna get better once you guys start to get your players back. Like I told you, I like the Saints. I do. I never wear Saint gear, but I'm always cheering for the Saints. When it comes to teams in you all division, I cheer hard for the Who Dat Nation. I want to see y'all do some good things, and I think y'all have a good potential as far as a quarterback with Spencer Rattler. And what I like about him is that he will throw the ball downfield, and you all have weapons, and it's just that Carr just would not. He would just play it safe, and you can't win in the NFL playing it safe.
No, you can't. You gotta go too. Take him with you.
Well, Jay, get you one Who Dat in for the Who Dat Nation.
Who that? Who that said they're gonna beat them Saints?
All right, Jay. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Sports therapy.
What's going on, my brother?
My homeboy Glenn checking in. Homeboy Glenn, y'all have the stage tonight, man. What are y'all gonna do, man? Are y'all gonna perform? Or are y'all gonna crap in the bed, bro? What we doing?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's hard to say. I'm scared to brag on them suckers tonight. Everybody hyped up about Devontae Adams coming to the Jets.
Yes.
And then we made a quarterback switch. So I really, it's hard to say, man. I don't understand what we be doing sometimes.
How do you feel about that?
You know, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You know, I really just don't. The man that won 4 out of 6, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Well, we're gonna see what Russell Wilson do tonight because I'm not knocking him. It's not nothing he did, you know, because people don't. He ain't no bad quarterback, but he up in age. I think I would have stuck with the younger guy because he wasn't hurting them. But you know, I just want to see how it's gonna come out tonight, and I know more about it. You know, even tonight won't tell you nothing, but it just kind of give you an idea of what's probably go on. It ain't gonna tell you much though, but this is his first game.
I got you. I know that, and that's probably a football coaching thing. I know that they were trying to keep it under wraps that you guys were going to make a quarterback switch. I don't know what the head coach's, what was his thought pattern in terms of why you switch. I don't. And at the end of the day, I think Russell Wilson is probably a better passer, but I think at this point, you need the athleticism of Fields because sometimes a good mobile quarterback makes up for other weaknesses that you have and you may not think you have.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not taking nothing from Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson used to be a scrambler too because he didn't have no other choice but to scramble up in Seattle.
You're right, because he didn't have offensive line.
He never had offensive line, but he's about 35, 36 years old now.
Right.
Yeah, I think, Justin Fields got a lot of potential, but at the same time, too, I like Justin Fields' attitude. I like his attitude about things because he said he's going to have to work hard. If he had played harder, there wouldn't been no question who'd have been the number one quarterback. And he said he's going to work harder. I like to hear him say that. But it's just kind of mind-boggling for you to have a four. It ain't like Mike Tomlin done did shit since 2000, since he won the last Super Bowl. What the hell he thinking? Man, sometimes he makes some bonehead-ass coaching decisions to me, man. It's not about no race or nothing like that. But sometimes I question him sometimes, man.
I got you.
Man, I'm just being honest with you. I've been a Steelers fan all shit for years.
So now,
but sometimes I question. The last few years, I've been questioning his coaching ability. Really, to be honest with you.
You know who's
because we've been average 8, 9, and 8, 8 and 8. Hell, shit, we ain't going nowhere. Barely need help to get in the playoffs.
You know who said the exact same thing about Mike Tomlin? Terry Bradshaw. And Bradshaw said exactly what you're saying. He's like, look, should we judge the Steelers by a different standard, man? Because just not having a losing season and just either barely making it into the playoffs and not going that deep into the playoffs, at some point,
yes.
Is it time for a change? But do you remember the old saying, though, man? Sometimes the grass always looks greener on the other side.
But man, think about this, man. Here we have to have help from somebody else to get in the playoffs, and then people forget when Antonio Brown was playing there, they had Le'Veon Bell.
True.
I think they had Todd Haley, or what they coach from the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl with him. He's still there, but I can't think of his name. But anyway, man, they had one of the best offenses in the NFL.
True.
So when them guys left, he went and got this other bullshit. Man, them guys can't even have when they had the other guy, we went 3 years without a 300-yard game.
True.
And they got, and this was Mike Tomlin picked, Damn, you went from having 2 or 3 all-pros on the teams and you can't even get 300 yards. We just been kind of average, man, and it's like I say, man, and then you know what you need, a wide receiver, and they don't even go and try to Hell, they don't even go and look at a Michael Thomas from the Saints over receivers. Anybody was better than what they got now.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I'm serious. There was quite a few receivers out there, way before IU could have. Hell, they could have got Cooper.
Yeah.
From Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, they didn't give up that much, to get them teams didn't give up that much to get them guys.
Nah.
But we act like I don't know, man.
Nah. So hey, let's talk about the state of the NFL right now. Starting with the NFC. Let's look at the NFC East. Now, you got on the top of that division, you got Buffalo and the Jets. Jets are playing you guys tonight. There's nothing about Buffalo. I mean, they're just playing good, solid football. Sometimes, that's kind of what you got to do. And Miami, with their quarterback situation, brother, I don't think they going anywhere. And, hell, the New England so bad, hell, they should have just left them over in England. Not even let them come back.
London, they could have kept their ass in London, man. they could have left them over there, man.
Mm-hmm. And then let's talk
about left them over there.
Now, what about y'all division, man? NFC North, AFC North. You got you guys right now.
You got a one team race.
But you know what?
You got a one team race.
But you know what, homeboy Glenn? As average as you guys are playing, hell, y'all still tied for first place. Until tomorrow night.
They play Baltimore. They got to play Baltimore twice.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, I looked at Kansas City 49ers this evening, and I said, well, 49ers finna get it together. Which I'm not gonna lie, man. They injuries got them. Like they always say, the next man up.
Yes.
But you can't replace what the 49ers have lost.
Nah.
It's hard to replace anybody, but it's hard. I think they're more hurt than any team in football right now.
Because one while today, hell, they didn't even have a starting wide receiver, a running back,
Right, but I say that to say this. Man, Kansas City the best team in football. Until you beat them, then you can prove it. But Kansas City and Baltimore the best team in football right now.
Right now, you're right.
And Detroit right there. You could. Some people could be arguing that Detroit is the second best team in football.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd be one of them arguing because I think they are the second best team in football. I think they are.
I do too.
I think they are a whole football team. They can play any type of game you want to play. They can beat you with the run game.
Any way you want to play.
They can beat you with the run game.
Any way you want to play, man.
They can pass it.
And they play smash mouth football, and they get creative.
Yes. They play action. They'll kill you with the play action. Only thing I'm worried about them now is with the injury to Hayden Hutchinson. That may have an impact of what they do defensively. But at the end of the day, man, those guys they're playing some good football. Now we talk about the AFC South. Look like there's nobody in that division that's going to give the Houston Texans any type of competition. Indianapolis, they're just. I think they're benefiting from not having a strong schedule. So, I just think the Texans are gonna run away with that. Jacksonville, they are a terrible team, man, and you know what? And they shouldn't be.
They could have stayed over there too.
but
they could have stayed over in London too.
But
and the Tennessee is one of Tennessee and Carolina Panthers. It's two of the dumbest organizations in football.
I agree with you.
I mean, I ain't gonna say dumb, but I'm just saying they two of the worst organizations right now in football.
As far as getting, playing good football and decision that's being made by the front office, yeah, I agree with you on that. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the AFC West, now we talk about Kansas City, but at the end of the day, until you beat them, like I tell people, when you large and in charge, brother, they going to call you chief. And until someone beat the Chiefs, as Ric Flair used to say, the immortal Ric Flair, woo, to beat a man.
In order to beat a man, beat the man.
You got to beat the man.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you. Hey, I'm going to tell you something else, man. I'm going to tell you something else, man. To be honest with you, I know you Me and you've been watching football ever since we've been old enough to know what football is almost.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Lamar Jackson and you look at Patrick Mahomes. They two of the most athletic quarterbacks, all around in football.
Yes.
But Mahomes is different on a different level than Lamar Jackson. It's simple fact, man, that dude is something special with that football, man. I don't say this about too many quarterbacks, man.
You know what the difference is between Mahomes and Lamar Jackson? And I was talking to one of my other callers, Brandon. I told Brandon, I said the difference between when the 49ers played Kansas City and when the Ravens played Kansas City, the 49ers are not going to stop playing their style when they play Kansas City. Now, today, they just didn't have the athletes, the horses, to play 49er football. If their style is to beat you up, run it, get physical, give you those body blows, so when you come to the fourth quarter, you ain't got nothing left. Kansas City style is, hey man, we're gonna pass it around, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna get you into a shootout, and if we got the ball last, we're going to beat you. But when the Ravens play them, the Ravens get away from how they play. Lamar started want to throw the ball and stop playing the kind of football that got him the way he is. He stopped running it. He want to throw from the pocket. They abandon the running game, and they get sucked up into trying to play the same style as Kansas City play, and that's how they always end up getting their butt whooped.
But man, I tell you what, man, that defense, Kansas City, man, I didn't see it coming, man. I'm just being, they got a big time defense over there, man.
And I think sometimes their defense gets overlooked by the fact that they have Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Hardman and those guys on offense. But before, the Chiefs defense used to be suspect. They got they probably got a top 5 defense, man. And
they got a man. I'm talking about Jones, and man, I'm talking about, and they got no name players that you don't really hear too much about.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, and I'm talking about they just good sound defensive players, man.
Yep. Nope, you're not gonna see them.
Man,
you don't see them on commercials and crap like that. They just play football. Now, let's talk about the NFC East. And we talk about the Commanders, Redskins, Commodores, whatever you want to call us, bro. It's all good. Philadelphia, Dallas, and the Giants.
I think Lionel Richie gonna lead y'all to y'all first division title in a while this year.
But you know what scared me today, homeboy Glenn? Is that sometimes when you have a player like Jaden Daniels, you as coaches, you can get wrapped up into wanting to feature him too much. Just like we open up today's game with the first play was a 60-yard run by Jaden Daniels. I mean, it was sweet, man. They were like, oh, hell. Only problem when dude caught him, he tackled him and kind of folded him up like a lawn chair. It hurt his ribs. People thought he got his ribs hurt on the next play. No, he got his ribs hurt on that very first play of the game. Yes. And so it goes back to what I keep telling people. Let's don't feature him like we were trying to do RG3. Otherwise, when you come out and you try to run your quarterback too much or whatever, sooner or later he's gonna get popped. And I think that was a caution for everybody in the Redskin family. Which, look, we got a good franchise quarterback. Now let's don't try to, win the Super Bowl this year. Now if it happens, if we get in the playoffs, cool. But let's don't go out and try to feature him. Nah, that's just not good, man. And so.
I think it's y'all division. I think it's y'all division to lose.
Oh, I do too.
Because I don't see. Yeah, because Giants is pitiful.
Giants pitiful.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I know people want to put them up on their pedals, but they at the bottom of the barrel.
Nah, them Cowboys. I think they're finna go through it, man. And like I joke about it, but it won't surprise me if they don't fire their coach right about Thanksgiving or Christmas, because I think at that time they're gonna probably be, I don't know, maybe something like 3-7 or something like that, because they got a murderous row as far as games that they're gonna play. And when you start to lose so many games, a lot of time players check out, man. Players like, hey, man, I'm finna make a business decision. Because when you got a bunch of guys on 1-year contracts and they don't know what's, as far as their career, they're not gonna give you maximum effort because they just don't know how things are gonna go.
That's true. That's true. But like I say, I think right now, in the Eagles, you can't trust them.
Nope.
I just don't trust them like I did 2 or 3 years ago. I can't just say, well, the Eagles gonna dominate, because when Kelsey retired, and that kind of hurt them right there. Believe it or not, that kind of hurt them a little bit.
I think the biggest problem with the Eagles is not only they missing Kelsey, but they missing Fletcher Cox and a couple of those those veteran guys on that defensive line, and they missing their DBs. But also, I think another big problem with the Eagles is that they've got they lost the offensive coordinator, and they brought in who's the guy used to be the coordinator for the Cowboys, and he went to San Diego for a minute. I think they're getting away from how the Eagles got to what they're getting away from Philadelphia Eagle football, and they're starting to catch up with them. They frustrated, and so I like you said, I think the division is ours to lose if we don't do anything crazy. Now, here's the thing about the NFC North. Do you know every team in the NFC North has a winning record? I'm talking about the Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago. They all have a winning record. Man, I watched that game today between Minnesota and the Lions. Bro, that was a good game. That was a good game. That was a playoff. That was a playoff. Yes, it was. That was a playoff game. Homeboy Glenn, that was a playoff game, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. That was.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. Both of them teams right there could easily go somewhere.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, hey man, I'm gonna let me get another call in here, and hey man,
okay, brother.
Good luck to you Steelers, brother.
Yeah, I hope so, man. See ya, brother.
All right, man. Sports Therapy.
Now, FH Jr., this is the Ravens extraordinaire, Brandon Cooper. Now, I got a bone to pick with the Commanders because Jaden Daniels was my fantasy quarterback. So I got him. Don't do this. Don't do this today. Now, brother, man, I could have won my fantasy game, but I tuned into y'all game.
Hey,
let
me stop you and tell you something. Guess who I had?
Look at him.
Guess who I had as my fantasy quarterback?
Ooh,
the same brother. And we
I thought you was gonna say Deshaun Watson.
Nah, he's stealing money. I need to be with him while he's stealing some of that money. But no, I had Jaden too. I'm like, dude, seriously.
No, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all would have won the game. Oh, and like been a lot more successful. But it's like, damn, a rib injury. Damn.
I'm hearing. I'm hearing that it's just a bruise. He just took a big boy hit.
Now y'all were playing the Carolina Panthers, so thank God.
Yes.
You were playing South Lake Carroll High School.
I know what. No, I think South Lake Carroll High School can beat the Panthers, bro.
I might. South Lake Carroll High School could probably beat Florida State, but that's a conversation for another day. But I'm like, it was just, I hated to see that because then I checked all, social media.
Yes.
And then everybody was like, oh, well, same thing started happening to RG3. And I was like, please, no.
I think for a moment there, Redskin commanding football family, we were a little bit scared, but I think that shocked everybody back into reality as to how quick your season can change on a dime, just like that. You can go from the penthouse to the outhouse. If you don't know what an outhouse is, ask grandma or grandpa. You can quickly go from the penthouse to the outhouse, and a lot of it has to do with coaching decision and play calling. The first play of the game, we featured Jaden Daniels on hell was a design run for the quarterback, and he ripped off about 60 yards. That was the play that got him hurt because what happened was when the guy tackled him from behind, he folded him up like a lawn chair. And people thought, well, when he ran the second time, no. The second time, I think that's when he realized, oops, something ain't right. So, but I think it was just you know how sometimes when you a kid and you sit down too quick and your ribs kind of fold up. So I think probably now, I think the minimum that he may have maybe a slight ligament tear as far as rib cartilage, and I don't think it's that. I think it was just a big boy hit. To be honest, I think he fell on the football and kind of got the breath knocked out of him because he's not that big of a dude. And but let that be a lesson to the Commander Redskin family that we gotta dial back trying to feature him as a runner.
You do.
We just need.
And the thing is, you got two running backs in three. I think y'all third string running back is pretty good. Well.
Yes.
I like him.
Give that ball to Eckler.
Y'all had to learn. Y'all had to learn what the Ravens had to learn. Like, yo, you can't take a quarterback that's barely 200 pounds and run him like he's Derrick Henry.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. And that's why y'all got Derrick Henry. So remember, we had that conversation last week. I said both of those guys are good for each other's career. Lamar ain't going to be beat up, and then when it comes to the playoffs, he's going to be able to cut loose, and now he'll be able to put you guys hopefully on his back for certain games and win them by himself if he has to. But then again, he's got Derrick Henry to take some of that wear and tear, and guess what? Derrick ain't taking all that wear and tear in the first half, so it's like a good relationship that they have. We got to find that happy medium, man, where we're not doing coming out I like Cliff Kingsbury. I like his play calling, but I think I think today kind of got his attention.
Mm-hmm.
That when you're playing a team that you know you're gonna win, going into it, I knew we were gonna win today. Don't come out and just feature your quarterback. You know what I mean? I mean, when it's third and 2 or 3, okay, run and pick up the first down, keep it moving. But other than that, man, use Eckler, use Mr. Robinson, use Nicholson, use those guys that get paid to run the football, bro.
And man, y'all gotta learn the hard way. But I will say, y'all use Senate a lot more today.
Yes,
and I like that.
I like him.
I like that.
I like him, and you know who I like too for us, man. The receiver that we got by way of the Cowboys. What's my man name? Used to be a Cowboy receiver, and they didn't use him right. I didn't know he was that big until we got him. I thought he was a little dude, man. He's about a good 6'4".
Shit. Y'all talking about? You talking about Wilson?
No. His name will come to me in a minute, but he came in and that enabled us to kind of get rid of Dotson because Dotson was a smaller receiver. But my man, we got now he's pretty good. So hey, bro, let's talk about some injuries today, man. You and I always talk about this, and I always tell people, man, when it comes to professional sports, get as much money as you can while you can get it because you have a skill that so many people in the world can that have. And the whole idea is from the owner's perspective is to get that skill from you for next to nothing. And the player's aspect is to get as much money as I can get for this skill as long as I have this skill because you're only going to have that skill for a small amount of time. So that being said, I'm not mad at we joke about it and we say, hey, not Lamar. We joke about it and we say, my man Watson is stealing money and all that. But at the end of the day, man, if people could pull back the curtain and see how much the owners make with the contracts and stuff. Now I love the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but it's business. So I'm not mad at my man because any day it can always be that injury, bro.
Yeah, man. And I'll say, you know what they say, man, you're worth what somebody's willing to pay.
Yes.
Right? And the thing that moves jobs and professions and economies further is people getting more money than the last generation. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to keep pushing the envelope, and we know that in football, it's next man up. As like, basketball is pretty cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? You got to have an all-star, an all-NBA in order to qualify for X, Y, and Z, right? Mm-hmm. But football is a lot more people. It's a lot different variables. So it's always next man up. Right. So I'm not mad. I mean, if you're Deshaun Watson, if somebody gives you that deal, you're going to take it. What you going to do? Say, nah, I don't deserve this? Nah.
Man, your agent would smack you.
Yeah. But, as a competitor, as somebody who played football, I always want you at your best when I face you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want any excuse if I win or if I lose or whatever happens that you wasn't at your best.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's like if let's just say if somebody gets hurt, like okay. Kawhi Leonard is a perfect example.
Yes.
He won the NBA Finals, but remember, Clay and KD both got hurt.
Yes.
Well, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not his problem. Like, that's nothing we can control. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do enjoy competition because I want everybody at their best because that lets me know, have I been training hard? Have I been doing this? Have I been, it keeps you sharp. You know what I mean? So I hate that happened to Deshaun Watson. Now, mind you, the internet is undefeated, so they've been going at him crazy right now. That man right now.
Yeah. But my point of it is any time, any day that you set foot on that football field could be your last.
Yep, last day on earth, to be honest. Depending on how it goes.
You take Aiden Hutchinson, fractured his leg last weekend. Okay, now they expect him to make a full recovery, but at the end of the day, it's not like if it was determined that he would never play again, it's not like you think the Lions organization gonna say, you know what, your future potential was probably about, I don't know, 150, almost $200 million. So we're gonna go ahead and give you that. You think they're gonna do that? No.
Man, please. That's why you better get as much guaranteed up front.
No. And people rag on Dak, and I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I'm a fan of business. People rag on Dak, and they say, well, he's making too much money. I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, he's making what the league is determined what he would make. He said, well, he ought to be, he ought to give a home discount. No, for what?
And no. The thing is, if you went to work and your manager and boss said, we gonna pay you triple what you making right now, you wouldn't say, nah, that's not fair.
Nope. No, you're not gonna say.
What's the opposite? They would have, if Dak would have turned it down and took less money, they would have been like, damn, Dak dumb as hell.
Yes. Yes, because I would have been one saying, dang, Dak dumb as hell. They were like, well, if he hadn't taken so much money, then Jerry would have had some room to bring in some more players. That's not his job. That's between.
That's not my job.
My job is to produce between the lines. And now I'm not the GM. That's GM stuff. That's not what you paid me to do. You paid me to be the quarterback. But like I said, brother, when you start looking at injuries and things like that, it is what it is. So now, what do you think about? There are some teams, and I was talking to one of my other listeners, my homeboy Glenn. We were talking about some teams that are just playing bad football. Bad football.
Man.
The New England Patriots, the Jaguars.
Dude, hold on. I just want to say this about the New England Patriots. I'd be damned if y'all tank this season and y'all draft Travis Hunter #1 overall. You do not do that. You are not going to mess that man's career up. And we know what you're doing. We know what the Patriots are doing. Look, F.H. Jr., you've seen enough football in your life to know when Cats is out here tanking.
There's some people tanking, bro.
Right.
There are some people.
Because let's be honest.
There are some people in the scuba tank.
Trevor Lawrence ain't. Trevor Lawrence looked like he was playing in a high school game.
I know.
And how he was carving them boys up this morning.
Yes. I
So,
mean, and they beat,
the New England Patriots,
they beat them so bad, man. I thought about trying to see can we not let them come back to the country. I'm like, you guys are not even being competitive.
You're not even competitive, right?
And I'll be honest.
This is the Jaguars team, same Jaguars team that got their butts whooped last week by the Bears.
Yes, the Bears. I know. I know. And the Panthers, that is a textbook case of a team that has been mismanaged from the top down. Because go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. Oh no, man. I'll say it right to you.
We could have easily put up probably 50, 60 points today. And that's with Mariota as our quarterback.
Dude, let's look at – so the Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Brian Burns, their best defensive player, right?
Yep.
Only thing they got back was a second and several third and fourth round picks.
Yep.
And you gave up multiple first round picks.
Yep.
Now, the thing I say, if they drafted C.J. Stroud #1 overall, it would have been the same outcome because the team's still sorry.
Well, I have to. I got to disagree with you a little bit. I think I just now don't get me wrong. I think they don't have any weapons. They pretty much set the organization back by probably 5 or 10 years. But I still say, just from my own perspective, just giving it the eye test, I knew that that the other kid was a better quarterback than Bryce Young because he was bigger. He was I just knew Bryce Young was just he was just being successful in that system at Alabama. And I just like, man, I'm still taking the kid from Ohio State as my, because he's more like for example, if you take Jaden Daniels and put him with the Panthers, they would still look a lot better. Yeah, they would lose some games, but if you don't get him killed, they would still look better. But my man looked like he never became an NFL quarterback, man. He was always playing like a deer, looking, facing headlights, bro. I was like, and you know.
Well, I would say this. They didn't play to Bryce Young's strengths, right? So let's think about this, right? Bryce Young and Tua can make the same amount of throws, but I think Bryce Young is a little more throw power, right? What did they do with Tua? They said, we know you can't throw that far. Let's get you 2 wide receivers, Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that can do the running after the catch for you, right? With Bryce Young, he needed an offensive line, and he needed a tight end. So follow me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Lamar. He needed a tight end. That's why they got Andrews, right? A good tight end will make your quarterback right when he's wrong.
Well, see,
i.e., Kelsey and Mahomes.
But see, the only thing
that tight end is a good safety net.
But the only thing I disagree with when you compare those guys, I just know if you got 175, 180 pound, 5'8", 5'9" quarterback, if he don't have the lower body, for example, Tua and what's the kid from Arizona? Those and Russell Wilson, those guys have a big base. If you look at their legs and stuff like that, and Hunt, those guys
they're more stout. They're more stout.
Yes, they can kind of take a little bit more. But with Bryce, man, he's a slender dude, and he's like 178 pounds, and he may be 5'9". And he don't have the big gun on. One thing about Tua can throw from that pocket, you know. And it had nothing to do with Alabama teaching. It was just that whatever high school or whatever, he had to been throwing from a pro set offense. But Alabama did not develop Bryson, and he wasn't that big of a dude.
I agree.
And he don't have, like I said, if you go back and look at Russell Wilson, all those quarterbacks that are barely 6 feet and under, you look at their legs and their lower body, they have the lower body strength that, they can do something. But Bryson doesn't have that, man. He's like a slender dude at 178, 80 pounds, if he's that heavy. And I just know that to me, he's going to probably end up being a career backup. Now, could he have probably played for the 49ers? Yes. Yes. He could do what Brock Purdy is doing. But
and you see Brock Purdy getting exposed.
Yes. Yes. That's my point. Yes. They're saying, okay, little bitty dude, we're going to find out, when you don't have those weapons, let me see you quarterback. And what did he do today? 3 interceptions.
Hey, bro. Hey, when Deebo Samuel hurt, Christian McCaffrey ain't playing. Let's see how good of a quarterback you are.
Yes.
And Brock Purdy, and see, that's why San Francisco is not going to pay you that big money.
You know what the thought
because they can't.
You know what thoughts I was having today from watching the 49ers and the Chiefs was at some point the 49ers going to say they're going to do just like the Rams did when they traded their quarterback, is that we are not going to kick the door in and get past Kansas City with this dude as our quarterback. I'm not hating on Brock, but there's some times when you need that quarterback to make a play and win a game, and he can't do it, man.
And that's what separates, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. These guys at the end of the game can look at the coach and be like, yo, coach, give me the ball. This is the play we're going to run.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a closer, just like in basketball.
You need that. And it's like in basketball. When you see the players say, coach, hey, forget what you're drawing up.
Yeah.
1-4 flat, I got one-on-one, I'm going to make the shot.
You need a closer. And that's what you pay the 40 and 50, whatever these guys making a year. That's really what you pay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you don't pay quarterback what they get because the market dictates that. But you need a closer. Dak is not a closer. Now you can win a Super Bowl with him, but he ain't that guy that when it's like, I don't know, 2 minutes, less than a minute left, and the ball is in his hand, and you're like, oh, hell, we finna get beat. Now,
I'll say this. Dak can't be your best offensive player and you win a Super Bowl.
Well, the way you win a Super Bowl with Dak, you got to have a receiver that's a dog. You got to have, and the combination between him and CD Lamb, neither one of them are dogs. You got to have a Dez Bryant type receiver, somebody that's gonna cuss you out, the fans out, the coaches out, but he gonna make some plays. When you don't have a quarterback like with Dak's caliber, you need you got to have somebody that's gonna go out and make a play. And that's what you got to have. It's just like when I was watching you guys play today. The first thing that came into my mind was, and I always said, one thing about when the 49ers play the Chiefs, they are not going to change their style. They're going to keep playing 49er football, which is to wear you down, give you those body shots, and hopefully by the fourth quarter, we lay our weight on you and beat you down. In Kansas City, their style is pass it around, get everybody involved, throwing trick plays, that's their style. Now, what gets me about the Ravens is that the Ravens play their style all throughout the year, and then when they come to playing the Chiefs, y'all get away from what y'all been doing all year, and all of a sudden,
I don't understand why. Since Lamar's been in the league, we've led the league in rush yards per game. For some reason, when we play that light-skinned man, I don't know why it turns into a throw-for-throw contest.
Yes, because he gets sucked up into my man's style. I'm
like, the Chiefs are scared to death. The Chiefs literally go into the game like if the Ravens run the ball, they can win.
Yes.
By halftime, the Chiefs are like, oh, the Ravens ain't trying to run the ball? Bet.
And next thing I know, Lamar trying to throw from the pocket and prove people that he can match Mahomes pass for pass. It's like,
what game have we had won when Lamar throw the ball over 40 times a game?
I haven't seen one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, brother. The 49ers don't change who they are. They remain a leopard, bro. They don't change their spots. They remain who they are. Now, if you beat them because they just don't have the horses. But they not going to change their style. But for some strange reason, man, you all changed. Y'all changed y'all style. I mean, you want to play the way they play. Hopefully, with Derrick Henry this year, y'all won't get caught up in that because, if y'all stick to the way the Ravens are playing this year, then I think that they will get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But my man, it is that time, brother. Get you one word in for what you guys do, bro.
Hey, man, my name is Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire. If and when the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl, I will be there on Bourbon Street. But catch us tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. We will be playing the Buccaneers.
Woo.
And we ain't going to forget, Baker Mayfield was the number one player and the number one quarterback selected in that draft. Lamar Jackson said, I got to get mine back.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right. It is time to bring this show to an end. I want to thank all those who called in. I'd like to thank my homeboy Glenn for calling from the great state. I'd like to thank Jay in Grand Prairie. I also like to thank Brandon from D1 Ignorant University, big time Raven fan. And I also like to thank all of you, all those who allow F.H. Jr. to be F.H. Jr. This has been Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. And I would also like to thank all those in the Metroplex for listening to my show. And for those on the yard, like I always say, stay golden, baby. We will see you next week.